Yip yap, patty whack, slap, clap, clap, yap, clap. Don't question what that means, but that has to do with the overall theme of this video. The One Piece animators don't even know what's happening in One Piece. And what I just said, I don't even know what's happening myself. And I'm saying it myself. So, apparently there's some allegations going around that the One Piece animators don't know what they're talking about. This is a KOL video. I'm gonna see what he has to say about it. I don't know what he's talking about exactly, because how to not know when they have the source material themselves. But yeah, let's check it out.
So One Piece fans, we've noticed that there's been a problem over the past, let's say, forever. Ever since the introduction of a certain power and this power's depiction in the story. And as of late, episode 1093 dropped.
It was so good.
It was absolutely outstanding.
It was so
but
good.
Made things even more complicated surrounding a certain power.
Am I tripping? What was that?
Power system. And as of late, episode 1093 dropped. And it was absolutely
Does Law have like a twin or something?
outstanding.
I don't even know what's going
things
on.
even more complicated
yeah.
surrounding a certain power system in the world of One Piece, particularly when animators themselves have made comments of.
You got waves, dog? It's not like this, right? I can't be talking about hair. My hair itself, I don't really do my hair ever. But your headphones, they're kind of upside down. And I'm not very wise, right? I'm not the smartest person around. I call myself a Narutard. I call myself my titles all the time. I'm not the brightest individual. But your headphones should be on top of your head. And unless you got waves, in which, from my calculations, you don't really have waves. Why are they like that? Why you got a towel? You just came out the pool? That could be why. Because if his head's so wet, he's got out the pool, then maybe. I have no idea.
About this power, and it actually makes it even more confusing. And ladies and gentlemen, what I'm talking about here, obviously, is the Haki.
What the was that?
Now, I feel like Haki is an inferior power system compared to Devil Fruits. Well, Devil Fruits are...
Whoa, that's so wrong in so many ways. It depends on the fruit. That's like overall, you can like... Let me guys know. Would you guys rather have Haki or Devil Fruit? Let me know.
Are pretty well organized
This depends
and
on what
well
it
thought
is.
out, but Haki is just very haphazard and all over the place. There are many folks that believe to this day that people like, let's say, Jinbei, or let's say Ulti, or let's say Katakuri, would have...
Are you sick of sifting through job scams on job sites? At
Why is this like
every job
okay? This seems a little personal.
Is hand screened by our researchers.
I don't need a job. All right, calm down.
Infusion, the same thing, that same apex ability that Monkey D. Luffy figured out in chapter 1010, and the main indication for this was the application of Haki on a particular body part, and it's sustained. So we saw these sort of thicker Black Lightning streaks in the manga when Luffy first utilizes the Conqueror's Haki infusion. We see later on, let's say when Kaido attempts to kill Kinemon. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying that. It's so dumb.
He would just die.
Whoa, why you hating on him? Hey, yo, KOL, listen. That's not okay. Why are you hating on him? Bro, he carried... Okay, carry is crazy. But he was cool in... Punk Hazard, I think that's what it's called. He was cool in Punk Hazard, and a little bit cool in Zao, the furry arc. So no Kini Momo, whatever his name is, Slender, alright?
We see it with Yamato, we see it with Zoro, where when they apply the Conqueror's Haki infusion, for the most part, there tends to be these sort of thicker bolts of Conqueror's Haki on their arm, on their sword, on their club, and then the attack itself seems to have more Haki embedded into it when they fire off. So, for example, when Garp does the Galaxy Impact, we can see those gigantic big bolts of Conqueror's Haki infusion on that shockwave. But then when Kobe does the clearly inferior Honesty Impact, we know it's inferior because, number one, the bolts on his arm aren't as substantial and as big as Garp's. And then two is that we don't see Haki bolts on the attack itself.
Bro,
now, I'll keep it a stack. It's not really consistent from moment to moment, time to time. And one of those iffy moments was absolutely 1063 of One Piece.
1063?
The beginning of episode 1093 of One Piece. We're in this chapter,
Is that what,
1063,
right before Gear 5?
We see BB attack Law and Company as the polar tank is under the water.
Blackbeard.
And we see these gigantic explosions in the water, and we see what seems to be these very large black bolts of Haki coming out of the water. But we did not see the lead up to that attack. So did BB have, let's say, these thick, dark streaks of Haki on his hand before quaking, trying to attack Law and Company underwater? We don't know.
I see what you mean.
So the anime, I thought, was going to be a very, very good opportunity.
Bro, if you
for
really
us
think
to
about
actually
it,
see.
why is Law's crew so useless? Like, the only person on that that's decently strong is Law himself. Everybody else suck. You can maybe say Beepo, but, you know, anybody outside of that, I can't name not one person. I was going to say Jesus Burgers, but he's a Blackbeard pirate, so definitely even not him. So I don't know. It's like just Law. Law and a bunch of plumbers.
If he was using Conqueror's Haki or not. And in episode 1093, what do we see? We see him have the red bolts on his hand before he quakes. And when he does with that quake, he makes a giant whirlpool pit, and we see these gigantic black sparks of Haki coming from the center of that whirlpool before it explodes. A joyous moment. That was absolutely outstanding.
Right.
Because now it gave us more clarity that BB is probably using Conqueror's Haki, particularly when we see Rayleigh have that same effect when he recreates the Attack on Titan Rumble on Amazon Lily, and when Shanks completely stunlocks Green Bull from thousands of miles away. Shanks had the red Haki, Rayleigh had the red Haki, Blackbeard had the red Haki. Excellent. Okay. Problem solved.
No. Wrong.
No.
It has to be black?
Instead, what we see later on is a female version of Law use their powers
a female Law.
to return back to being a male. But
YouTubers, wait, what? Commentators? I don't know how to say that. You're chilling in your room, playing your game. Or you're reading a book, whatever you do. And then a female Law walks in your room. Actually, where am I? Yo, I'm tripping. Yo, I'm sorry.
In the process,
I'm
we see Law
I'm sorry.
also depict red
I can
Haki.
explain. My bad. They just changed the color.
This was very confusing because, as far as we know, among the main captain trio on Wano Country, Luffy, Kid, and Law, Law, he is lacking Conqueror's Haki and Infusion. He has no, as far as you know, no Conqueror's Haki. We see, let's say, Dressrosa, him use Hardening to block some of Luffy's attacks. And we do know, based on the river cards, that he does have Observation Haki. But not even in the river cards, they say that he has Conqueror's Haki. Maybe the anime did reveal at that point in time that Law has Conqueror's Haki when he undid the feminization disease. Maybe.
Disease? Brother, that's a blessing.
But it'll be kind of wild for no other source material, not even Oda's comments or the manga or even the data books, to say that Law has that ability when no other medium has indicated such. Basically, the red Haki was a depiction of just his Haki, Armor Haki, in overcoming the feminization disease, which also then now puts into question Blackbeard's usage of his Haki. Even though the bolts are gigantic and titanic and massive, it's hard to say if it's actually Conqueror's Haki Infusion the same way we have seen Luffy.
Yeah, because I would say it's probably not, because like it just showed right there for this. I think this is 1071 episode. It was black and red streaks. I feel like just the red streaks itself probably isn't Conqueror's, and the artist just using red to depict Haki a different way. That would make the most sense to me, but I could be wrong again. But because I think it showed the Wi-Fi Haki from Shanks, and it didn't have to be Conqueror's for all you know. It could be like, okay, another way to show Haki would just be a hue of red, and for Conqueror's it can be black and that hue of red. It doesn't have to be like, you know, just one and all for everything in total. So who knows?
Zoro.
Welcome to step 9. As you continue to prepare for the interview, it is a great idea to plan some potential answers.
I don't need a job. All right, this is literally my job. Okay, calm down.
And Yamato and so on and so forth are the entirety of Wano Country Onigashima.
Is that a
and
sign?
then come the comments of Vincent Chansar, one of the guys that helped
Who?
out with the oh so epic Tremor Crush. On Twitter at that point in time, Vincent Chansar was giving credit where credit was due for the directing, storyboarding, things of that sort, and noting how scary Blackbeard's powers were. And then someone named Blue7 asked him this question. As an animator,
shout to Blue
did
Zero
BB
Max.
and Law use Conqueror's Haki this episode? As this is a huge debate at the moment. And then Vincent Chansar responds says this, I am neither the director nor a spokesperson, but as a One Piece fan and an animator, to me, there was no Conqueror's Haki used.
I
To
see.
me, Blackbeard probably has it, but he didn't use it here. I rechecked the original storyboard, and there was no mention of Conqueror's Haki. Usually,
No?
the effect...
That's not what that said. I forgot your name. KOL. That is not what that said. I'm gonna need you to go back and read it for me, please. Thank you.
we use is black for Conqueror's
Dang, let's put emphasis
Haki.
on that.
So that right there is informative for the episode itself, where even though we have Blackbeard and Law resurrecting old dead shonens, Red Storm, and they have red hockey lightning bolts shown throughout the entire episode, no. There is no Conqueror's Haki on the storyboard. Therefore, we cannot say that what they're doing is Conqueror's Haki infusion like Zoro, like Yamato, like Luffy, and so on and so
that's
forth.
true.
Weird, but okay. Fair enough. Particularly for Blackbeard, weird, but okay. We'll take it. However, to then say that usually the effect for Conqueror's Haki is black. Wait a minute. Is that true? Because we
That has
saw
to
in
be true,
Wano
though.
Country Luffy go gold. Luffy went gold when he unlocked the Conqueror's Haki infusion.
Well, he did say usually, so that could be, usually black. I assume, like, maybe there's just like a special case because he used it for the first time ever. Or the Joy Boy fruit has a role in that being golden or something. I have no idea, man.
And black is the typical, the usual effect for armament Haki for the most part. We see with Luffy and Katakuri on Whole Cake Island. We see with Jinbei and Who's Who in Wild Country. I can
What
go
is
down the
that?
list. We
What the
normally
furry-
have black and black lightning and that kind of stuff be the representation for armament Haki, at least those smaller sparks. Though sometimes when they do use Conqueror's Haki, the regular pulses, when they knock out people in waves, that also comes with that sort of black lighting aesthetic.
That's
Though
true.
because we see folks get knocked out, it's easy to tell that they're using Conqueror's Haki without, let's say, even looking at the lightning. But in the anime, Yamato and Kaido were using like
It's like
blue
purple.
and purple,
Yeah.
but they were still Conqueror's Haki effects. Luffy had the gold, but then we saw, let's say, when we went to Gear
There's
5,
like white
when he
streaks.
blew up the entire skyline, we saw him both use red and black and white and gold lightning. The red and black lightning being Armament Haki, and the
Ew.
white and gold lightning being
What was the CGI
Conqueror's
dragon?
Haki. So, woo, it's messy. It's very, very messy, and I couldn't find this. But I remember in 2022, I think it was the One Piece podcast, there was a interview with, I want to say, Henry Thurlow about the usage of Conqueror's Haki infusion, its depiction in the anime. Maybe not Henry Thurlow, I forget entirely. So if someone has it, because I couldn't find it because I just kind of forgot. But if you
I'm trying to
recall and
figure
you
out
know
who
I'm
this
talking
is.
about, then let me know in the comment section down below.
Don't worry, dog. I'll comment and I'll let you know exactly who Mr. Was it Trello? I'll let you know. I got his contact information. Indeed.
Please do. But I remember the overall idea, the general idea, and like the general idea that I remember was that it depends on the director of the episodes themselves. Each director has their own way. It depends on the director of the episodes themselves. Each director
Looks
has
at
their own
episodes.
way of doing
It'd
things.
be like that,
Their
Scott. I can't
depictions
hate.
of certain scenes in the manga, the overall pace and flow, the events of the manga that should happen on screen, and so on and so forth. So because of each director's own choices, sometimes they would use gold, other times they would choose not to. Other times they use other colors, like purple or
Just to make it
blue,
cool.
Or let's say they just go
So it's
back
not stale.
to
They could
the
just be
usual
doing
black
that.
and red. So it just depends from director to director to director. And as far as I understand too, the animators are given a lot of freedom for animating
got
certain
Swamp
scenes
Monster, bro?
based on how they interpret that scene. The animators are given a lot of freedom for that. And that's why you can, let's say, go to an arc like Wano Country, where you have Yamato using blue Conqueror's Haki, Kaido's going purple, Luffy's going gold, Zoro, let's say, goes green, Shanks pulls up later on, he's going red, but then here comes Amazon Lily, Rayleigh's red. Okay.
Blackbeard, red.
Also red. What?
Law, red.
Law, also red.
Yeah.
What?
I see you.
They don't know. No one really knows. And
wait a second.
Man.
Maybe there's more to say. I have something to say.
A lot of confusion, particularly if you are an anime-only watcher.
Not
to
really.
Be fair, as far as I understand, not that many, let's say in Japan. Fair enough, fine. But if you're abroad overseas, it's got to be confusing. Hella confusing to really try and pinpoint the Conqueror's Haki, who has what, and when is it going down.
I mean, if there's always like some kind of like, let's just say the colors are double layered. Like there's a black and red, or like a black and purple, black and blue, white gold. Like if there's two colors, then I think it's safe to assume it's definitely Conqueror's Haki. Or if it's not like a normal like, yeah, I would say that. I would say that. If it was like double layered colors, now I think it's safe to say that it's Conqueror's. If it's not, then it's not Conqueror's. That's pretty fair to say. Maybe there's some abilities that work like Conqueror's, like the Wi-Fi Haki. Maybe that wasn't Conqueror's Haki. So I mean, I guess he's right about that part. It can be a little bit confusing, but it's not like too big of a deal. Cause some people just interpret based on the character itself and what they've seen from the character. So yeah.
Oh, it's gotta be just a mess in your mind, and I don't blame you. I really, really don't, because even as a manga reader, it is confusing. I don't know if Blackbeard has Conqueror's Haki infusion, even though he's making these titanic bolts of.
Hey, got a second? I'm going to show you how I got the flexibility to code, create, and experiment my way. Follow me. Let's dive in and...
Okay,
Black
bro.
Lightning in chapter 1063. I just don't know. And let's
I
say
need
when it
YouTube
comes to
Premium.
Zoro or Luffy, when they're using it or not, at times can be confusing too. So yeah, it's man,
Inconsistent.
there's a problem here. And I'm really hoping in the future this all gets remedied by the One Piece. Yeah.
The One Piece?
Remember that at some point in the future, 2035, 2036, 2037, at some point in the future, the One Piece will get to these moments.
Oh,
and I
this.
really
Okay.
do hope that they make it as clear as humanly possible.
Clear as crystal.
What is
Clear as
Haki?
crystal.
What is the advanced versions of that? What is the observation? More actual visual depictions of that, let's say via eye color changes. Because in the past, in the anime, at moments, they had like the red eyes glow, and then that kind of just stopped for whatever
They
reason.
stopped
Later
doing
on,
that?
Conqueror's Haki Infusion, what that looks like, and then make it universal so we know for sure when a character is using it or not.
That's fair.
The visual aesthetics are
I mean-
all over the place.
Even like when it comes to, I want to say armament. I think he just brought it up. I don't know what term he used. Like there'd be some times where Luffy's fighting somebody and they don't coat themselves and Luffy gets hurt. And I'd be like, what? Because they're not showing it. I'm like, okay, how did he just get hit right there? Like I have to assume that they're using it, but they don't show it. And some people, they're not as smart as this genius right here with this godly brain. And they're like, huh, what just happened? It doesn't make too much sense to me at times. Even like in the show, Luffy gets slammed to a wall, he takes damage, but knowing Luffy, he shouldn't take damage from that move because of his body. But inconsistencies happen, especially with like a huge work of load you gotta do, and different, like he said, I think it was different directors doing stuff. So I mean, it does make sense why it happens sometimes, but they do gotta get better with that, like guaranteed.
Bro, they're nuts. And
Yeah, they're nuts.
I'm hoping in the future, by the time I have a bunch of kids and way more gray hair, we finally have it locked down and we're not losing years of our lifespan because we're so stressed out figuring out what is what. So as my usual safe measure, as my precaution, even though I love these anime moments, filler. Man.
What?
Oh.
Hey.
Unless I am specific.
Let me go back 5 seconds.
And unless I am specifically talking about the anime versions of said characters.
What the
filler.
hell?
And we leave out the manga because the manga is, compared to the anime, it is better, but albeit in of itself, it's still confusing. And let me know your thoughts on the subject matter at hand. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up.
like
Subscribe to
the
the
video.
channel and click
Cool
on
dude,
that
man.
bell to join the
I
notification.
don't know you personally. I would like to know you. But anyways, let me guys know your thoughts and opinions on this. Do you guys think it's really inconsistent? Because I do think it can be inconsistent, not like consistently inconsistent, more like a inconsistently inconsistent, if that makes sense. But I'm not fully caught up, so I don't have a too big much to say because it could change things. But yeah, let me guys know. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.